saying, where do you start when planning? Where you start when planning is December 31st, 2023. That's where you start. That's where you start. So what you do is this. You actually draw up the date on a piece of paper and you say, this is December 31st, 2023. And then you actually say in one sentence, what does my health look like? Next, what does my financial investments look like? Next, what does my family life look like? Next, what did my real estate, if that's what business you're in, look like? Like, how many sales did I make that year? So you begin with the end in mind. Then all you've got to do is come up with the law of lineage. Everything that you do then needs to head and drift in that direction. So that's where you start off with, right? That's where you start off with. And a lot of people might turn around and say, oh, but like, why would you be worrying about like work like on today, you know, in between Christmas and New Year's Eve? Mate, this is not work to me. This is my life, right? This is my life. I actually enjoy spending time putting a plan in place to have the life that I want, not a life by accident, you know? And there's a great saying, you're either going to have a life by design or a life by accident. And I just think that you've got to try and be the architect of your life. It's not going to be perfect, but you will drift in that direction. But I actually enjoy it. I actually enjoy knowing that I'm actually doing things that are heading me in things that I want. You've heard me say it, ELF, effortless, lucrative, fun. That's got to be your life's mission for how you spend your work and your personal life. Effortless, lucrative, and fun. I'd love you to type in Insta in the comments. What are some of the great books that you plan to read or have read during this holiday period? If you are a book reader or an Audible listener, what are some of the great books? I'd love you to actually type away. That way we can share some of your recommendations to people that are watching this right now. But I started listening again to Pema, P-E-M-A, Chodron, who's a Buddhist, and she's got a number of great books. Living with Uncertainty is one of those. Marcus Says, Selling in a Crisis, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Maddie Steinway, Money and the Law of Attraction. Maddie, your next book has to have the theme of you get what you are, or something along the lines of the law of attraction. It's who you are, and that book should be written. The Art of the Deal, Says Emil, by Donald Trump. Kylie, Jab, 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 Right Hook, Gary V. Everyone's telling me there's a Gary V podcast going around where he opens up and he's crying about some of the missed opportunities in life and, you know, things that, I don't know, I've got to look it up. Maddie Steinway says, I just wrote one called Frequency. So Matt, I didn't know that you'd written a book. Is the book out? Frequency. There, that's a good book. Yeah, that epitomizes, that is who you are, Maddie. Frequency. Jenny writes, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The Secrets of Selling Anything, from Fredward Eklund. Yeah, reading it for the third time. Wow, is that a good book? I've heard about that he'd written a book. I mean, I saw him at ARIC. So Matt, 3 months. Has the book been out for 3 months, or it's coming out in 3 months, is probably the thing I wanted to ask you. Who else have we got? James Hadzolis, The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. Frank Covey. I think it's Stephen Covey. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, from Mrs. Powers. Right? 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Okay, that one keeps coming up. Yeah, so Maddie, can I just ask you, is the book out or it's coming out in 3 months' time? If you can just let us know. It's okay. It's out in 3 months' time. Okay, beautiful. I was just making sure I haven't missed it. Building a Second Brain and the Bullet Journal. The Monk Who Sold His Red Ferrari, if you like Buddhism. Okay, The Monk Who Sold His Red Ferrari. I'd love to know, Aria, who the author of that. That is not Robin Sharma's, is it? Because he wrote a book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, not Who Sold His Red Ferrari, and I don't think it was about Buddhism. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Okay, you got a few recommendations there. Anyway, team, that's my plan. That's my plan. Signing off. Have a great day. Winning by Tim Glover.